Tonight we're back on the streets for the Auckland Pride Parade's second birthday. Hi everybody, welcome to Gay Talk Tonight. Thank you for joining me. I'm Andrew Whiteside. Well, tonight we're taking a look at the 2014 Auckland Pride Parade. Crowds lined the streets and a party atmosphere was evident all along Ponsonby Road. This year's parade didn't go without a hitch, however. A medical emergency delayed its start, a group of protesters interrupted it, and there were often large gaps between floats. But when the city's mayor cut the ribbon, our rainbow communities brought out the colour. The Dykes on Bikes have been at all our parades. They warmed up the crowd beforehand and roared up the street after the cutting ceremony. They were followed closely by Mika atop the Past Pacific Pride float, heralded by 3 kaikaranga. Children decorated as timeless treasures took part in the Rainbow Families float, a recognition of all those in our communities that have children and the importance of family. A controversial float was entered by the Embassy of Israel, designed to promote Tel Aviv Pride in June 2014. It was stopped partway along by a group of protesters who were escorted off the street by police. As with other years, our community support groups were out in force. The women from the Charlotte Museum honoured our history by remembering the brave suffragettes and reminding us that lesbians were classified as mentally ill right up until 1973. Servicemen and women joined in the parade, this year led by diversity liaison officers of the New Zealand Police Force. They were closely followed by paramedics from the St John Ambulance Service who brought a motorcycle and an ambulance. As with last year's parade, it was the New Zealand Defence Force Overwatch marchers who garnered the loudest cheers, a fitting tribute to the Defence Force's commitment to valuing diversity. Given recent developments in Russia and Uganda, it seemed appropriate to have Amnesty International marching in the parade, a reminder of their support for human rights over many decades. 10 years ago, it seemed Auckland City didn't value its rainbow communities. This year, Auckland Council officers on electric bikes joined in, proving those days are well and truly behind us. The cast and crew of Silo Theatre's upcoming epic Angels in America took to the streets to remind us not to miss this remarkable piece of gay theatre. Drag, of course, was a major part of the parade, and the wonderful gals from Kalutsi Drag Cabaret flirted with the crowd. Our Prime Minister may not have been at the parade, but other politicians were. The Greens came out in force, as did the Labour Party. They were honouring the historic and successful legal changes that have happened for LGBTQI people over the past 3 decades. Supporting our communities are a range of organisations such as Outline, which offers both face-to-face and free telephone helpline counselling services for LGBTQI people and their families. And Genderbridge is a peer-to-peer support organisation for trans people throughout Aotearoa. Both groups marched down Ponsonby Road. Puff Bar is Auckland's newest gay venue. They brought the Pink Link, a bus honouring Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Even Waiheke Island, which has a small but proud gay population, turned up. They joined in the celebrated march down Ponsonby Road. And right behind them were the young folk from the Waikato Unique. Making a welcome return to the streets this year was Buffy and Bimbo, the fabulous makeover girls. They first appeared at the 1997 Hero Parade, where they performed tragic makeovers on the crowd. Religion played its part too, as members of the Auckland Rainbow Community Church brought a spiritual dimension to the day's events. They were supported by a number of different queer-friendly denominations. The Auckland Sexual Health Peer Support members walked down the road showing their positive message of inclusion for all. Mr Gay World 2012, Andy Darlett, could be seen waving to the crowd with some colourful retainers following him. And a vintage circus came to town. Nestled among the colour was drag diva Tiffany Rose, with acrobats, body-painted tigers, clowns and a man with a very large moustache. International Love was afloat, illustrating that love can overcome the barriers of distance. Body Positive honoured those living with HIV and those whom have died from AIDS in an energetic, colourful float. It was designed to remind us of the healing power of grief. This year, the roller derby girls were back for a fast-paced and fun sprint down Ponsonby Road. One of our nationwide banks proved that it supported the community with a very colourful display. A special tribute to those lost to AIDS was provided by the New Zealand AIDS Foundation and GALS, the Gay and Lesbian Singers. It featured messages of love written in origami flowers to those who have passed on. Our LGBTQI sports people weren't forgotten. Team Auckland swimmers showed up and they brought Father Time with them. Same-sex salsa dancers presented a summer float combining palms and tropical flowers with the exotic passion of Latin dance. Students from UniQ Auckland brought some colour to the streets and paid homage to this year's theme, Time. The community's bears were out and proud, and right among them was this year's newly crowned Mr. Urge Bear, Gary Edwards. Rainbow Youth have been providing support to our young people for 25 years. They brought their own style to this year's parade. And this vision of Silver is the Queen of Lights, a male to female transgender personality. Aotearoa drag kings came to the parade. They call themselves the handsome counterparts to our beautiful female drag artistes. They presented their masculine style and personality. Boys in the Sauna was the theme for this float, submitted by the Centurion Sauna for Men. And the Gay Wakeboarding Association brought a boat and their own water. The Pacifica LGBTQI Youth Float gave our Pacifica brothers and sisters the opportunity to show their pride and their special part within our rainbow communities. The float symbolised their intention to nurture and develop future generations. Unitec sent a rocket representing time and space to the parade, and riding in it was the current Mr. Gay World, Chris Olwage. LYC is a community-focused program designed to create a condom culture across Aotearoa, New Zealand. With the parade's sub-theme of the Pacific, the LYC brought us Colours of. With the parade's sub-theme of Pacific, the LYC brought us the Colours of the Pacific. Drag queen Kita Mean dressed up as Cruella de Vil in the back of a convertible. She was surrounded by a group of puppies dressed up in rainbow-coloured feather boas. Auckland's well-known drag persona Miss Ribena was hard to distinguish in the mist, but her voice boomed out to the assembled crowds, wishing them a happy Pride. She was followed by marches for Youthline, the counselling service that's been helping our communities for years. The final float was called the Taniwha of Love, designed to teach us to love each other no matter what. And as the floats disappeared into the twilight, the crowds dispersed. But it wasn't completely over. At Victoria Park Markets, the Proud Party was just beginning. Kicked off by the fabulous Mika, the party went into Sunday morning. And by midnight Saturday, the queues to get in stretched around the building. Next week, we talk to the fabulous singer-songwriter Charlotte Yates. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next week.